Hi, it's been a while. I'm Ulusoft, and I'm making a video game called Kobold Garden. But after having worked on this game for years now, I'm basically starting over. For those of you who are new here, Kobold Garden is a 3D pet raising video game where you raise lizard-like creatures called kobolds from tiny hatchlings into upstanding members of kobold society. What makes this game interesting is that there's no set path for how a kobold can turn out. The time you spend with them and how you train them all shapes a kobold both physically and mentally. The more effort you put into your kobold, the more they change over time. So, if you've been working on this game for years, you must have something to show for it, you may be wondering. Oh man, I'm so glad you asked. Behold, the culmination and magnum opus of my life's work. Feast your eyes and
Get a load of this! Bruh.
yup, this is a game in its current form. You're probably wondering how it ended up in this situation. Kobold Garden started out as a side project, something small I was building to take a break from a different game I was working on at the time. But the more I posted about it, the more people actually liked it. It started getting attention, and at some point I made the decision to drop everything else I was working on at the time and made Kobold Garden my main project. And honestly, that's where things started to go wrong. When I made that call, I didn't have a design foundation to build from. I was just expanding outward in every direction, chasing whatever seemed cool at the time. It went from a creature raising game to an open world crafting RPG, and I still couldn't tell you what the core gameplay loop was supposed to be. I was adding features without ever asking the question that actually mattered. What is the experience I'm trying to create? Eventually, the weight of all that uncertainty caught up with me, and I hit a wall. I didn't burn out because I was working too hard. I burnt out because I didn't know what I was working towards. So I took a step back. I spent about a year working on a smaller spin off called Small Kobold Garden, which gave me time to reconnect with what I actually liked about Kobold Garden in the first place. That time away gave me something I didn't have before, enough distance to look at things clearly and ask what it was supposed to be like foundationally. And that brings us to where we are today. No more guessing, and no more feature creep. I know exactly how the story of Kobold Garden will end now. I just need to follow the blueprint and actually build it. I feel it's best to start with nailing down some assets, so you have actual models to use when we start coding the game, instead of staring at cubes and cylinders all day. I'm also streaming the development process live, which helps me stay focused and lets you follow along in real time. But I know not everyone can sit through a multi-hour long stream, so I'll be cutting these down into short devlogs like this one, usually once per week, covering whatever meaningful progress that got made during that time. The footage being shown right now is me working on a new kobold model during one of those streams. It started off as a sphere, and slowly turned into a kobold as I sculpted in detail at resolutions of millions of polygons at a time. Way more details than a game can reasonably handle, but working at that resolution lets me get the details and forms exactly right without having to worry about the rendering constraints. So once the sculpt is done, I'll build a much lighter mesh on top of it through a process called retopology. I manually place geometry with clean edge loops, especially around joints and the face where deformations need to look the best. Then I bake the high poly detail into the low poly mesh's texture. This allows all the visual fidelity of the sculpt at a fraction of the performance cost. That's what the next stream and devlog will focus on, retopology and the first look at how this model holds up when it starts to move around when animated. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten about Small Kobold Garden. Just had to give a little bit of extra attention to Kobold Garden first, but once we start getting into more coding, features that are added to one game can also be added to the other easily, as they share most of the same features. It's been a long road to get here, but I feel this is the version of the game it was supposed to be in the first place. I'm more confident in what Kobold Garden is, and I hope to show you that through consistent devlog videos and updates from now on. If you liked the video, consider subscribing, leaving a like, and maybe even wishlisting Kobold Garden on Steam. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.